Welcome to another watercolor tutorial with me, your host, Bill Holcomb. Today we will be looking at many tips and secrets to adding reflections in watercolor to your watercolor paintings. Welcome to this tutorial. Here we are in Amsterdam in the Canal district, and we're going to show you how to paint the buildings, the trees, etc., the bridge, but also importantly the reflections in the water. I start at the top of the sky with a wash of Windsor blue, and if you wish you can first have a wash of clear water over the sky coming down to the buildings areas, the top of the buildings, and the trees. And you can come down a little bit onto the trees, that won't matter, but not into the buildings, of course. And I'm using a tissue here to mop the brush and then run that along the edge of the paper to mop up pigment and make sure I don't get creep back. Dry that off with a hairdryer. Then with your number 2 brush, you're painting in the facade of the building, and we're doing what we call negative painting here, what I've mentioned before in previous tutorials. So you paint around certain subjects. So for instance, these windows, we're painting around them, negative painting, so that they are left as clear white paper, and then we'll be painting those in later. So we have achieved the shapes we need for the windows. And that's, as I say, light red, and you can darken that up a little bit when you need to for different parts of the building. With a little bit of your Windsor blue. And because there are so many buildings involved here, I've just shown that example of how to paint them and then gone on to the trees. You do your usual, your light wash first, Windsor yellow, and then darker version, some wet in wet, some wet on dry, etc. Then on the bridge, we've got these little hanging baskets with red flowers using Scarlet Lake to indicate those. And as is so often the case, the ubiquitous bike riders in the Amsterdam area, the Canal district. So one of those indicated coming across the bridge. Just study those as much as you can, try to get them in reasonable detail. And there's often bikes chained along the railings, so indicate a few of those too. Here and there, you can indicate a few people crossing the bridge, walking along, or standing at the end of the bridge. Still using a small brush. You can drop to even smaller than a number 2 if you wish, to enable you to have as much control as possible in painting in such detail. So just study from whichever photograph you might use the details and get them as accurate as you can. You can apply this technique to various parts of Amsterdam. So I've got the railings of the bridge painted in now, and I'm using the light red for the brickwork of the bridge. I have first of all painted in on the underside where the sun is catching parts of the bridge, Windsor yellow. If you wish to mix a little bit of yellow ochre with it to vary the tone, you can do so. Still using a number 12, drop down to a smaller one if you find it easier at this stage. If you use something like a 12, make sure it's got a good point still to it. Then once that underpainting is in for the brickwork, you can do a darker version as shown here to show it the surface broken up with variation and lines drawn in. I've also drawn the shadow area to the undersides of the bridge. And now on the water, I'm using the mop brush with a clear wash of water, first of all the way across. And then coming in with Windsor Blue, starting at the bottom, working up, as is the case with water. Start at the bottom and work up, so that it's the tone is darker at the bottom and gets lighter as you go up the painting. With the sky, of course, we do it the other way around. We start at the top for the darker tone, and then as we come down, it gets lighter. So wet in wet, while still wet, add some more Windsor Blue. And you can switch to your number 12 brush, and now I'm painting in some of that reflection on the water of the light areas under the bridge, and then we'll do some of the dark as well and let them fuse in together. Here we go now, putting in the darks, fusing in together. And vary the shapes as well, you know, break it up a little bit, make it more convincing. It is on water, and it's not still water, it's moving water. So it is broken. Continue with that, and we will be switching to a flat brush, a half size. We've got the trees here, so there is reflection of the trees. And break that up as much as possible for the reflection on the water. With the barge that's tied up at the edge there, you choose which colors you want, and please remember to like and subscribe because it's all free and will notify you of future tutorials. That also acts as a little bit of a prop, that barge on the edge there, so that the eye doesn't go completely out of the painting on the right hand side. It pushes you back in. Now we've gone to the flat brush, showing a few more reflections here and there and ripples on the water. Bearing in mind, as I said before, it is moving water. It's not like it's glass type water where it picks up mirror images of everything in great fine detail. It's broken up. And remember, the further away you get, the lighter the tone and the thinner those ripples would be. And here we are, finished painting. I hope you've enjoyed that and learned a great deal from this tutorial. Please like and subscribe as suggested, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.